or what I like to call now is quantum energetic healing. So the quantum aspects deals with the atoms and the molecules, because we're all atoms and molecules, everything, just different configurations of atoms and molecules. The poke plant, the fennel plant, this beautiful piece of earth that we got up from the mountains where we all are, the mullein plant, the plantain plant, everything. Our teeth, our hair, the cars, different configurations of atoms and molecules. And then so how do we move that energy? So scientists, have big machines that learn how to break the atoms and molecules down to its smallest parts, and they create huge explosions that damage our atmosphere and probably the cosmos also. But we have that same power within us to heal ourselves. And if we can get in touch with what our own personal bodies need for healing and what our ancestral medicines are, that's really hugely important. I found that the ancestral medicines are really hugely important because not everybody's going to respond to mullein or poke or yellow root, which is golden seal. So when I was doing my, I don't want to say research because it was really just exploring a part of our ancestral lineage here as Black folks in America. There's many different terms that are used for us now. Foundational Black Americans, I like that. African Americans, I like that. Indigenous African Americans, I like that. Indigenous, I like that.
American Africans.
North American Africans, I like all of that. Black, Indigenous, Black American, which is the African, the native Indigenous of this land, and who we are that also, and the Europeans. So, reconnecting back to those ancestral medicines that we come from. And when I was doing that journey into really exploring who are my people really from Louisiana, from Mississippi, Virginia, what is their story really, beyond what they told me. Oh, you're African, you're Indian, and of course the European. Didn't know who was European, but you're African, you're Indian. So when I did that journey in my own family, and then in my former husband's family, who's all from the Carolinas, and then other folks, I found that we possessed a really deep medicinal knowledge that transcended folk tales, because so much was brought from Africa, and so much was already here. It's really just a blending of the two medicines, a strong medicine. So reconnecting with that, or let me just say connecting with that and connecting with nature, will help each and every one of you and myself to really understand what's needed. So one of the stories that I heard in Louisiana was an elder who said that she used to keep, they didn't call it after birth, they called it before birth. It's the matter that comes out before the child comes to planet Earth, and the afterbirth is actually when we leave our bodies, which, as Star Trek alien called us, ugly bags of mostly water, which I think is pretty accurate.
Wow.
That's the afterbirth. So the before birth they had, and they put it in the jars, and they, in the small communities, they put whoever was just born, the little spirit who was just born, they put their name on it. And they use that as fertilizer to feed the medicine plants. So then the plants and their quantum energy get connected with us and our solar DNA so that they can do their thing to help to keep us healthy. So that was a connection from way back when we can communicate that's something that I hope people, I believe sisters are now reconnecting and doing a similar thing by taking their before birth and bringing it back to the soil, or even you can eat it.
Yeah, yep.
And it keeps that lineage strong. So it's important to talk and to feed the plant medicine spirits, because they have so much knowledge and they will keep us healthy. And my favorite plant is, who knows what this plant is? Oh yeah, it's a really powerful plant. Okay? It is super. I call it the Jedi of the plant world. Because you can eat the leaves, poke salad. You have to blanch it twice and throw the water off, and then you cook it just like greens, and you can eat it, and it has nutrition in it. If you don't do that, you're just going to have some terrible diarrhea, so you're cleansing out your system. The poke berries are used for making pokeberry wine. You can make pokeberry wine, take a shot 2-3 times a day, and it gets rid of arthritis and rheumatism. Another elder told me that she gave her children 7 pokeberries a year because they were developing this skin condition, this rash. And she said that they just swallowed the 7 each year, and the skin conditions went away completely.
Wow.
You could also use it. It's also a powerful dye that was used in many Wiccan conjures and spells. Civil War soldiers wrote their letters in pokeberry ink. The draft of the Constitution was done in pokeberry ink. Powerful, powerful, powerful. The root is called cancer root. And because it gets rid of growths and masses, and it cleanses out our lymphatic system, you can make a poultice. I make a cream with it using coconut oil. And I've used it before and given jars to people who had mysterious growths on their arm or their pets, and it's gone away. Because people still don't have enough money to go to the doctor and get the help they need. So, we need to again revert to those traditions when we couldn't go to the hospital, didn't have money to go to the hospital would not take us at all. So we were our own doctors.
Yeah.
We could still do that.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite doctors and scientists and researchers is Dr. Charles Drew, founder of the Blood Bank, if you don't know who he is. And which has helped so many people, that foundational invention that's helped so many people with providing blood plasma in surgeries, in dialysis centers. He's a remarkable man, and I don't know if you know that he was the first one to set up the blood bank for the Red Cross during World War II. And he stopped. He said, I quit you all because they wanted to separate the Negro blood from the white blood. And he could not believe the ignorance that he had to continue to deal with.
Right.
So he left them and he set up his own. So we have to take care of ourselves. I don't trust the medical system.
Right.
They put you on medications. When I was talking to folks in the South, for life. When you get on that high blood pressure medication, you're on it for life.
The little side effects. Yeah, I agree. That part.
All of it. And so when I go to the doctor, I probably have white coat hypertension, or maybe that's just my energy. I'm an intense individual, you know.
Right.
They keep on trying to tell me your blood pressure's too high and this and that, and I said, I'm eating right. I might drink a little bit too much sometimes.
Right.
I'm healthy and everything, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm the only one in my family not on high blood pressure.
Hey.
Come on.
The only one. So, and it changes, constantly. So, I'm I like to, I'm at the point now where I can check in my heart center, because, you know, we're all constantly evolving spiritually.
Yeah.
And ask myself, my higher self, if there's something wrong, what do I need? I hear what that is, and it is right on. And that's what everybody needs to get to do, I think, because you should know you better than anybody else.
Come on. Come on.
And the sun is so important. Being out in the sun, it activates the melanin. You know, I have a little bit of melanin. Some of you have more melanin than me. I grew up always wanting to be darker because I was called light bright, damn near white. I went to school in Oakland, Burkhalter, King, and Skyline. But I got enough melanin. I'm the red bone melanin.
Right.
And, you know, it activates the melanin in our system, which sequesters the toxins in our body.
Right.
And then takes it to the liver. So if the liver isn't healthy, it can't expel the toxins. And then your adrenals get messed up, and your kidneys get messed up, and your knees get messed up, and all these aches and pains in your eyes. So I feel all of our organs are important, but we can't live without the liver. People can be brain dead and still be alive. They've taken a heart out of somebody's body and kept it pumping, then I think for about a year. You know, kidney, you can get hooked up and go to dialysis and you can get a kidney from somebody else, but when the liver goes, which is 85% water, it has the most water of all the organs in our body, really, you know, you're almost done. You gotta go on to your next cosmic journey. So, over the years, now I haven't always been this way. You know, I grew up eating soul food and foods from Louisiana. I was born and raised here in Oakland. Everybody else is from Louisiana and Mississippi. My grandmother used to carry a bucket. She lived first they lived on 32nd, and thank you.
I'll give her a cut.
First, they lived on 32nd and Peralta in a little house there, and then they moved to 54th and San Pablo, and which is where my grandmother passed away at 104.
Oh, wow.
But she was able to vote for Obama before she died.
Hey, all right.
And she used to carry a bucket, get on the bus, go down to Housewives Market in San Pablo, carry a bucket, and get a whole hogshead. And then she was a little bitty woman, and carry it back on her bus to her house. And what did she make with the hogshead? Hogshead cheese, which was so good. That was one of my favorites growing up.
Man, you know what I'm talking about?
Cheese,
Appreciate you, so. Thanks, so.
dip it in that gumbo juice. I used to take my little fingers and get some in the refrigerator before she put it out. So I grew up eating that, Louisiana hot sausages, you know, pork chops, lamb chops, gravy, fried chicken, all of it. I started smoking cigarettes in 6th grade. Because a lot of us who are, you know, I'm a younger baby boomer, and there's probably older baby boomers here. Our parents smoked and drank, and there were commercials, and, you know, we came out okay. So, but, you know, they had their liquor cabinet and their parties, you know, and we smoked and drank, and we sneaked cigarettes.